Hey boys, almost regular LH pouring in. New month, same old game. Fortunately, the DLC has been delayed, so we gotta make do with what we got. There's still two campaigns in progress, the Karazakarak and the Wars of the Apocalypse, which are probably not gonna be finished this year, or who knows, maybe not even the next year. This is the state of things. This is the state of things. It's Ryan. There have been some hotfixes released and trailer released. We'll check those out. And I'm thinking of starting the back and forth campaigns any day now. At least have some fun with the variety of early game and unpredictable stuff happening. These campaigns will be kept and they'll be keep going when I feel like playing them. Archeon and Thorgrim will be with us for a while. The next back and forth is pretty much gonna be happening any day now. Any day now. We'll check what's been going on. It's not gonna be a long Warhammer 3 stream today. There's a game we're gonna be checking out later. But once we start the back and forth, the next one, you can expect long Warhammer 3 streams again, at least for a bit. What is this game? This is Warhammer 1. Warhammer 2. Okay. Where was this? So the Dark Cloud happened on Warhammer 3 yet again. With all the drama that's been happening, there's some issues to the game. Not even the main issues in the game. Legend of Total War, the most famous or infamous Total War content creator, said some things. And started a wildfire, and it created pretty much, for the first time, was think overwhelmingly negative recent reviews, and now we're back to mostly negative. It seems like it's the only way to do things anymore. Definitely an overreaction, but maybe a needed one, so the CA does consider things a little bit more. Will the game go back to 70% by the end of the year? Maybe. I doubt it. But we are probably gonna be between mixed and mostly positive for a while. Since then, they delayed the DLC and started working on the hotfixes. They should already be happening on day one. They're very slow with this stuff, this company. Where we kid around, we don't even call them hotfixes, we call them cold fixes. Cold fixes. But if you guys haven't heard, the Legend of Total War is apparently retiring by the end of the year. He'll probably still be doing content, I'm not sure, but I think he's not gonna be, maybe he's gonna close the channel, Legend of Total War no more. I don't know, but I think he's either gonna stop doing regular content or stop doing Total War content, or he's gonna do something. I don't know, maybe someone knows exactly, but because he said that he's done, I guess what this will make his community go crazy on the reviews. We'll see. Who knows? He's no longer young. We are now getting to become middle-aged men streaming and playing these games, but most of the player base, it's already in the 30s and 40s of Total War since the early days. This game ain't getting too many young players or young audience anymore. Where was this? So where was this? 19 days ago. I've been busy playing an Olden Era, Heroes Olden Era demo. I got like, I don't know, I think it's 200 hours. Where is it? 204 hours. A solid demo, you could say. Solid demo. I'm gonna be looking forward to an updates on this game. Really looking forward to it, like almost some excitement back in my life. Not just you know, the same old, just content. And definitely gonna be playing more of this game. Early access next year. So got 200 hours, solid demo, solid demo. We're checking this game later today. It's been requested by St. Isaac. So 19 days ago. So we had 16 days ago, 15 days ago, 8 days ago. So definitely some stuff to check. Guys, I don't know what's going on with Top Manager, but he's like so toxic lately. Like he's like radioactive. I need some Red X and Radaway, man, with this guy in my channel these days. Where are we at? So this was 6.3.2. I think this was on the list. No, we actually had 2 hour hotfixes slash. Can't even call anything hotfix with this company. This is let's just call it cold fix. They're so slow with this, so slow. Some of these issues literally were known all the next day, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do in the next update. It's supposed to be like a month later, and now this got delayed. The DLC got delayed. It's almost like they were looking for an excuse to delay things again, because it's been an entire year they haven't released anything. They haven't released anything entire year. They've just been polishing the game. It's like the updates that have been happening this year should have probably happened 2 years ago. So don't get fooled by any of these guys. You know, like we try not to be too negative, but we still have to be somewhat negative. But don't get fooled. They've been slaking hard. Shit that's been released here should have been here 2 years ago. Okay, let's see what this 2 cold fixes were. There was a 6.3.2 implementing the changes we've been working on in order to rectify the issues with Lism and Tomb King's AI. The only reason they've been doing this is because the game went to negative again. Negative again, and this was overwhelmingly negative for the first time ever. It's currently mostly negative. And the problem's not gonna get recovered. Probably not gonna get recovered by until the end of the year. This is probably going to stay. Probably gonna stay. I am expecting a disaster of the next DLC. Probably the worst DLC up to date. And this is like just how it looks to me. Like some of the worst factions and high elves to soften the blow. And considering everything has been happening around. Probably gonna have to deliver something extra to make sure we can swallow the next DLC. Maybe some more polish to the game, some other factions being reworked, hopefully some campaign settings that we can customize more so we can actually create our own experience and not take their experience, because their experience sucks. So I'm expecting a disaster before the year is over. Hopefully I'm wrong, but the next DLC looks like the worst one yet. So I don't think this is gonna recover this year. They might need to take the entire next year to recover from this stuff. And will that be worth it for them? Who knows? Surely they will not leave Warhammer 3 as it is, because that will be even a bigger disaster. So the issue with the Wildfire was the AI of the Lizardman was completely crippled, and the AI of the Tomb Kings was somewhat crippled with the reworks they've done with the Lizardman and Tomb Kings in a recent update. And this was definitely an overreaction, because people overreact over this. Meanwhile, the AI has been AFK for a year and a half. Year and a half, and they only care about the Lizardman and Tomb Kings all of a sudden. Maybe the Digital War didn't care about much about the AI being AFK past the early game. Key will be keeping a close eye on your experiences with these changes and their effectiveness, but our testing has produced positive results in addressing the issues for these factions. If you missed our blog detailing more about this, you can read it here. Detailing. That was a month ago, huh? Okay, so what did they explain this for the problem? Hey folks, we've been investigating the issues affecting campaign AI since the release of 6.3.1. We're working hard.
Oh my god. Have you seen that
Yoo-hoo.
shit?
Hey, Oglam.
Holy shit. What the
We're here, hard, to restore it back to a better standard. I want to give you an update on why these issues have occurred and where we are with our progress on fixing them. Oh man, here we go. More fairy tale explanations. Remember they were saying when the AI was passive and AFK, they said there were agents making them passive AFK. And they still go AFK and agents are nowhere to be seen. And they were nowhere to be seen in the first place. Let's see what they're telling us this time. A hotfix is in development currently. My bad. A cold fix is in development. Currently, its singular focus on campaign UI, unit cap, recruitment fixes, and the bad AI behavior that stems from this issue. Hotfix 6.3.2 is presently scheduled for release next week. It entered the first phases of our testing earlier today and is showing positive signs of providing an improved experience to the game. I'm not sure who the fuck is doing this testing for them, but that person should be fired. Person should be fired, and somebody who knows how to do better testing should be hired. Literally, you play as the changeling, and within a couple of hours you can see what's wrong with the game. I'm not sure what the fuck they're testing. Over the last few weeks, when responding to questions on this topic, we had originally planned to publish the fix as part of 7.0. So this was the one that was getting delayed, and the DLCs were getting delayed. They probably were looking for an excuse to delay DLC again anyways. Now that the investigations have been completed and we're almost there with a fix, it makes sense to decouple it from 7.0 to get it out as quickly as we can. The issues with campaign AI are unfortunately complex to resolve. And we have been able to deliver an immediate fix as we needed to conduct some very thorough investigations into the root causes. But we are working as quickly as the complexity allows. We'll go into the complexity below for those who want the detail. But if you're just looking for the headline, we're on it. Hotfix 6.3.2 aims to address the recent problem that we have seen where factions aren't recruiting units into their armies and the idle behavior that stemmed from that. The issue with recruitment has been a highly visible problem since the release of update 6.3. But this issue wasn't caused by 6.3 itself. We discovered that this issue has been present in the game prior to this update and affects factions where the AI is tasked with managing unit caps. We have found that the AI was building lists of units to recruit without taking caps into consideration, resulting in recruitment failing to occur and stalling the AI decision-making process. These issues have been compounded by changes that we made to different resources that are required to recruit units by the Lizardmen and Tomb Kings. And while you may have also seen issues like this happen with factions that use pooled resources like spawning sequence, meat, old gold, or skulls to recruit, Lizardmen and Tomb Kings will still face an uphill struggle in their campaigns when managed by the AI. They have challenging starting locations which regularly sees them defeated fairly early on. But they shouldn't be fighting with both hands tied behind their back. For a deeper look at what caused these issues, here's lead technical designer Radoslav Borisov with detail how our AI is currently behaving. The way our AI handles unit recruitment occurs over several distinct steps. One of those steps is selecting a list of units to recruit into a specific force with the goal of acquiring the necessary strength to perform a task. When the AI is mapping out its shopping list of units that it wants to recruit, unit camps are not currently taken into consideration in a proper fashion. This results in the recruitment action failing as soon as the unit caps is exceeded. A recruitment action failure then occurs should the AI decide that its next task should be an attack element generating a recruitment action and then expecting an increase in force strength to a level where it feels the element garrison that it's targeted for attack can be defeated. Without the unit recruitment task's successful resolution, it holds up the subsequent task and leaves an AI in a paralyzed state. Man, this feels like just like a rotten core design. It's a cascade of failures that result in certain factions failing to complete any aggressive actions whatsoever. In order to be efficient in how resources are allowed and spent, the AI relies heavily on several beliefs around the current state of the game world. Man, factions like the Tomb Kings, like the Warriors of Chaos, should not even have any unit restrictions as the AI. And more so, they should just have more army capacities based on difficulty. There should be an exception to these factions being played by the AI. They should not simulate how the player is supposed to play them, because that's impossible. Some examples of these assumptions are things like cheapest unit that can be recruited anywhere in the faction, strongest unit that can be recruited anywhere, most cost-efficient unit, best cost to strength ratio, estimate number of turns to reach a recruitment location of the strongest cheaper unit. Any mistakes when constructing these assumptions has been found to lead to a catastrophic failure in many of our AI systems. If the AI behaves a unit is free and provides any meaningful strength decrease, it will not allocate any resources to buy units. It wrongly believes it can fill its armies with powerful units for free, and so will pursue that option and trigger a failure cascade. I can't believe what I'm reading here. If the cost of a unit is not properly evaluated, the AI finds itself in situations where it has budgeted some money and ultimately ends up being insufficient, causing overspending and running them into an irrecoverable or very slow payoff debt. So, guys, remember there's a lot of AI armies that have like 16, 17 units, and they're attacking into what the results where it's a decisive victory for the player with low casualties. I'm getting like images in my head from so many situations like that. Maybe that's literally going on throughout the game, not just with the Tomb Kings and the Lizardmen here. So many situations where you would see greenskins with 17 units and missing like 2 or 3, 4 units in the army. They're suiciding into literally unwinnable battles. There's a pretty common sight, even legendary, to see them on the 17, 18 units in the armies and attacking like that. Or not having complete armies, while the rest of the army is a circus, missing either 2 black orcs or 2 big uns. These past weeks of investigation have shown us that the majority of eternal systems were unprepared for actions that ostensibly could not fail to fail. The cascading effect led to all sorts of problems. The AI couldn't change stances properly, attacking on the campaign failed, recruitment failed, laying siege failed, and so on. We have identified and resolved the leading causes of such failures, but it's very likely there are other cases we are not yet aware of just yet. Who knows, maybe the previous team had just swept this under spaghetti code. Resolving the immediately known causes of this problem is helping us to remove any denser levels of fog that may be obscuring other possible causes. As they become known to us, we'll resolve those too. Edrich Hunter. As it stands today, there are over 200 different pooled resources in the game, and they are used in a large variety of ways. For us to be absolutely certain that everything is properly accounted for is a daunting task, but we'll continue working on as identifying and resolving any issues in the future. And will not deploy this hotfix without careful monitoring of the effect it has, and will continue to stay committed to bringing more improvements as necessary. This could mean so many things, so many things. If this is even true, what they're writing here, other than just telling us they're on it. Radoslav Borisov, lead technical designer. News on Tides of Torment will take a back seat until we have resolved this issue. We're looking forward to giving you your first complete look at this next DLC, but fixing comes first. In closing, please accept our apologies for the experience that you're currently having with the game. It'll be active across our different community. I'll be active across a different community, our spaces, helping to keep you informed on our progress as we move towards the release of Hotfix 6.3.2. Fixing comes first after the wildfire that Legend Total War community started. Hotfix 6.3.2, 632. Okay, let's drop the points. So I don't get it. Like, why didn't just call it 633 and then the next one 634, 635? Why do they have to be dots in between? What was wrong? The recruitment issues prevented with the Lisbon and Tomb Kings races where the campaign AI was not recruiting units correctly and consequently blocked from taking other actions. How did we fix it? Hotfix 632 corrects two errors. Firstly, where the campaign AI was not made aware of pooled resource restrictions on unit availability. The secondly adds an update to a previous change that caused a mishandling of star gathering for the zero cost units. How will it impact me in the game? With this update and application of this fix, the campaign AI will take those pooled resource restrictions into account and will properly assess the value of the units they're recruiting, which in turn means you should see Lisbon and Tomb King recruiting faction recruiting armies, expanding and finding it out. Hey St. Isaac, we're doing a dispatch later as we have decided, right? Next steps. Now that we're deploying this hotfix for Tomb Kings and Lisbon, we'll be closely monitoring your feedback to identify any emergent problems that require further investigation. If you run into any other issues after updating to 632, please be sure to raise them in dedicated bug reporting subforum. See you in the battlefield, Total War team. Okay, this was the... hey there, bro. This was the 19 days ago thing. This was 16 days ago. Tides of Thor... I like those tattoos where I feel like you've been crying. Not tattoos, the makeup. It's like I feel like every Total War player should have such a makeup playing this before they play this game. Tides of Torment are coming in, and the waves will wash up on our shores. A terrifying trio of legend lords: Aislinn, the Kala, and sail on December the 4th. December 4th, man, that's over a month. Yeah, we're definitely doing. We're definitely starting back and forth. We're definitely starting back and forth, and hopefully it will end by the release of the DLC. Sure, surely. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I have to make sure my YouTube history is at least half as professional, as you know, as professional as the CA is these days. Oh yeah, no, they will not do. They'll not do. Bunch of Korean ASMR and Asmongold clips. Yeah, they'll not work. History clear. Okay. Now we go to YouTube. It's like you click on one of them Asmongold clips, and before you know it, your entire YouTube is Asmongold clips. Okay, see? You see how clean this is, guys? Only the cleanest stuff here. I'm still getting Asmongold suggested. Shit! Okay, let's see what was on this trailer. Apparently people are not happy with this trailer, but who's gonna be happy with this DLC anyways? I'm hoping the Kala at least has a good voice actor. The rest I don't care. What? Where's the audio?
Oh, lost soul. A servant to your masters.
We're trying to make Norska look better than the rest of them.
What has loyalty given? Where has devotion led? Shed it all. Change is painful, but pain brings.
And the snake model looks good. Yeah, the snake was a High Elf princess. I think her parents gave her to the demon or something like that. I don't know, man. It's like I think like their hype building has definitely overstayed the welcome. It's like I'm not sure about this anymore. I feel like trying hard to make sure that this is still relevant month after month after month after month. Maybe the true tide of Torment was the tide of Torment along the way. Beastman eating better and better with every DLC. Nice, nice. I didn't even think about this, guys. Beastman getting more stuff. Well, finally time for play Beastman again. Ah, yes, time to play the Empire again. I'm hoping for two things out of this DLC. Norscan Lords having a proper skill tree, and the Kala having good voice actor. Hey, wood. As a dwarf fan, this was absolute cinema. More targets to shoot, huh? $39.99 plus tax. Sure, if you're in Australia. Tides of waiting. I like that. We should just call it tides of waiting. Tides of waiting. These are definitely tides of waiting. Slop for the slop god. Yeah, no, man. We'll see. What is next? We had a Hotfix 6.633. Hotfix 633. And I see Beastman. I see Beastman. Hey folks, we just rolled out Hotfix 633. That was 15 days ago. What, they did 2 hotfixes in 4 days gap? It's like a lot of these comments. It's almost like they're same for every DLC. It's like it's almost like there's like AI writing them or some shit. Okay. Resolving a couple of ownership requirements issues that arose in the wake of patch 6.3, which was affecting free DLC content. This was due to the removal of the 12-hour access as a requirement for ownership, causing some content to be locked, when this shouldn't be the case. After this, Hotfix 634 will be the next update to arrive in Warhammer 3, which will share some more details on next week. So they fixed the ownership with the content that was only available with the access. You had to do like a third party to access the content. This thing was definitely annoying, as they wanted to just promote their website. And 6.634 preview. What the hell? Another one. Another one. Rainbow Flag in Big 25. I mean, there's the UK Calsphere. The UK is a little bit behind the US. You know, just when the people see, you know, the climate around the that follows the USA, UK quickly follows.
My god. Have you seen that shit? Holy shit. What the hell?
Yoo-hoo! Happy 6/9. Nice. This one is a preview. This one is a preview. The game is currently at 633. So let's see this preview. I don't usually bother with the cold fixes. We do check the patch notes, but we've been away for like almost 3 weeks, so why not check what's been going on? Okay. Following the fix for the last week FLC issue, we promise to keep you updated in another direction of travel onwards the next game update. So, yeah, this is like the DLC is in like 5 weeks, so they're gonna release this before that. This week we continue our work on building our Hotfixes and improvements that will form the foundation of what we are internally calling 634. We start our testing on 634 later this evening. That was 8 days ago. Continuing through the weekend and right across all of the next week. We are not currently locked in on the release date for 634, but we have softly targeted its release on November 6th. We hope that you'll understand that our testing phases for significant changes is often extensive and can cause us to make changes to release dates or make further revisions to what we include in the update itself over the course of testing. So it's pointless to even test the AI right now in like an AI test with a changeling until they release the 634. I'm happy to shed as much light as possible today on what our top focuses and expected fixes are based on where we stand today. But please expect some changes to the below between now and the 634 release. What I'm sharing today is pretty raw information, hot from the ovens, with all things that we are happy to chat about. What key issues we're looking to address in 634? Idle armies on the campaign map. Again, you know, because they've literally done nothing with it. Chaos Dwarf recruitment issues, high tier units. Golgfag, idle AI campaign behavior. Nothing about Changeling, huh? Changeling has been broken way before Golgfag was released. What about the Beastman? Beastman even before that. Before I get into breaking down our progress on these 3 key issues, it's important that I highlight that we are in the earliest stages of testing. As you'll read below, we have different levels of confidence on these 3 key issues, which may see us change up what's included in 634. If we make changes, you'll hear it was at least broken, it was intentional cookies. Broken for the player, broken for the AI, broken in the balance. It's balance of being broken. Have to be broken in both ways. Permanently in the earliest levels of testing. As you'll read below, we have different levels of confidence on these 3 key issues, which may see us change up what's included in 634. If we make changes, you'll hear that from me as soon as we make the decision. If we do remove one of these key issues from 634, please know that it won't mean that we've stopped working on to solve the problem, only that we have continued to work on the problem and instead look to make it a part of the future update. Hold on, let's just pause this for a second, guys. Just a couple of months ago, they've been doing the testing and hoping to rework the sieges again. They were confident in what they have released to this point was acceptable by the community, and oh boy, were they so wrong. I guess that the thing disappeared into the fog, and now we're back to, you know, the core issue that they still can't manage to fix. Meanwhile, there's literally 2 mods you install, and it's more than Sia did in years. Makes you wonder how the hell the mod fix all these idle issues and they can't. If we do remove one of these key issues from 634, please know that will not mean we have stopped working on the solved problem, only that we'll continue to work the problem and instead look to make it a part of the future update. The way this is going, some of this basic stuff won't be done by 2030. And they are releasing content, paid content at the same time. They really ought to release the what they call this thing when you pay for updates and the DLC are in this part of the package. Some other games do it. Because, you know, I feel like without such model for the CA, they usually feel like I feel like they're gonna just give up on time. The Civ 6 used to do this. What was it called? Season Pass. They really ought to do the Season Pass format for their content. So they keep working on the game, they kept getting paid, because a lot of people, myself included, and some of the people I talk to who've been playing these games for years, they don't care about all this new stuff. They don't care about a DLC for Norska or Slanesh. They're not even gonna play any of this shit. But they wanna support the game, and they wanna guarantee that the game is keep getting updated. And this is the reason why they buy DLC, not because they care about some Slaneshi lore or Norskan lore. Most people don't care about this. It's a majority of the community do not care about this. And if they split this into, like, you can buy either Norska, Slanesh or High Elf, you think a Dwarf player is gonna buy any of this? Or an Empire player? This is rotten. The DLC don't get any sales. Especially if people can nitpick as well, you know, what they're gonna get. They can pick what they're gonna get. People will buy this stuff if the game is getting polished or updated. Not to play this crap. But the problem is, the way the CA is doing things, they probably can't even guarantee that they can pull off a Season Pass. Just deliver stuff to polish the game, people will buy DLC. Most people don't care about what the DLC is. And they're hyping it every time. I don't know who the hell is even target audience. It's like, Norska is already a really small minority. Slanesh players, like, you can probably count them on fingers. It's like probably 10 of them in the entire world. This is why I think this DLC is gonna be a disaster, because who's gonna be buying this stuff? They're gonna see everybody's buying High Elf's Lord and nobody's buying Norska on the Slanesh, and this is gonna be a bad sign. This is why it's important when they release content for Slanesh. This content also adds stuff for Beastmen. And it adds to the other areas of the game. Not just directly to Slanesh, you know. So if Slanesh getting an update, Beastmen probably ought to be getting a couple of units that's attached to that update, or this DLC. Otherwise, like, very few people even play Slaanesh. Norska is already pretty bad, and Slaanesh is like even worse than Norska regarding the player base. So I'm not sure if anybody even gonna be buying this if they can just pick High Elf Lord. Surely people are interested in new High Elf Lord. I mean, there is a brain rot happening in the community, in the minds of the players. It's a kind of like a good kind of brain rot, you know. Confederations. I gotta get them all, and I guarantee you, most of the sales that will happen around the High Elf New Legend Lord, not because they're gonna care about, you know, playing this or care about this Lord or their units or stuff, so they can confederate him, so they can get another one in the collection, or not more faction buffs when they play Tyrion or Teclis, or, you know, one of the other lords, Alariel maybe. So the brain rot of confederations, they will want to have that Lord Confederate to get further bonuses to their faction, more power creep. I don't think they're gonna care about that Lord. They might just gonna see the start, play a little bit of early game, and never again. And this is pretty much the only thing that I see that's gonna be attractive to the general player base, buying the High Elf Lord for the sake of Confederation. And if that Lord has a skill that will give us some faction buff, or it will be a Lord that's, you know, have territories they want, it'll just be for the Confederation. Okay. As things stand today, idle armies is something that we have a positive outlook on. The issue itself is presently believed to be a complication of several different issues, all conflicting with one another and causing the behavior that many of you have highlighted across our communities. This has been a problem since like late 2023, and they still haven't fixed this shit. Unbelievable. Where you can see multiple armies standing around settlements and not taking any direct actions in your campaigns. They already give us a bullshit explanation why this is happening. Let's see what they are gonna say this time. We will look to address problems we discover over the ways in which campaign AI is prioritizing defensive tasks too aggressively. Allow a little bit of Friday irony for you there. A specific issue with vampire accounts that often saw them get tied up in odd recruitment logic, similar to what we've recently tackled with Lisbon Tomb Kings. An instance of factions who sit idle whilst surrounded by allies, despite having valid enemy targets in more distant provinces. Okay. And what about the, you know, 10 armies of Nagarite right next to your border not doing anything, and you're at war with them? Because this happens with every faction, not vampire counts or allies. Guys, remember the Nagarite campaign? Oh yes, that Nagarite campaign was probably one of the worst situations with this one. Maybe there's a screenshots for that. It was literally Grom with so many armies just AFK, AFK. Well, everybody was at war with him. He was at war with everybody. He was at war with everybody, and he was doing nothing about it. That one was probably the worst one, because he literally had a province. He controlled like half of it, and the other half he was at war with. He was at war with them, and he was not doing anything about it. He was at war with pretty much all his neighbors and just not moving. There's basically a bunch of grinding there of greenskins, huh? 13, 12, 11. Just getting a quick look here. boys. Hey, boys. Yeah, we got... Estimate. Yeah, there's like 12 armies of Grom AFK at 2 settlements while being surrounded by enemies. It tends to be like when they have a lot of military and it's like... It's almost like a bottleneck. They send a couple armies at a time and then the rest are just AFK. This is another problem when they made the AI stick stuff less and less stuff to fight. All this stuff has just built up over time and just gotten really bad. We're also trying to investigate complaints of cowardly diplomacy AI, where if an AI faction isn't presently at war with anyone, it languishes around settlements instead of engaging with all the tools in the toolbox. Like, what the... There is no guarantee we'll have a solution for this last time in 60.4, but we're looking at it and we'll keep you updated on our progress. So basically, late Warhammer 1, early Warhammer 2, the AI was probably the best. The AI would just recruit armies out of control. All the economy would go into military, not just income but treasury as well. You would literally see 19 to 25 armies of Dark Elves, and they would be attacking with multiple armies every battle. Chaos was doing this all the time, and the Chaos was the most common enemy, so there would always be sieges against 2, 3, 4 Chaos armies at a time. And I guess people were getting tired of this. And on one hand, people were just using lightning strike to prevent this when they were attacking, and on the other hand, people were getting tired of fighting large battles all the time. And that's when the complaining started. They didn't do anything about it in late Warhammer 1, so Warhammer 1 still has this behavior, if you want to experience this. And in Warhammer 2, in the middle of it, like a couple of years later, they toned this down. They have lowered the amount of armies that the AI will get. They will also make the AI stake armies less. Not always, but at a chance, they will not always send all their military. This is why sometimes you see they have like 7 armies in the area and they say 1 army at a time instead of 3 or 4 at once. It's much lower desire for them to send more armies to attack at once. And over time, like Warhammer 3 AI is pretty passive since day 1. And then started messing around with the player focus, which was terrible to begin with in Warhammer 3 compared to Warhammer 2. And this is when the disaster started happening. It was late 2023. It was basically a culmination of everything. Less armies, less desire to send more armies to attack, and started ignoring the player. And as the campaign starts, the desire to fight at border, this is basically the only time the AI is behaving like it should. In the first like 25 turns of the campaign. And every few turns later, especially as the player expands, the AI loses desire to do anything. And they started getting access to more funds, more military, and they want to send 1 or 2 armies to attack at times, but that's not enough. And they keep the rest of their armies AFK. And when they're moving, they're moving just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it takes them forever to do anything, even against other AI.